Hi, Pastor.
Hi.
Is it possible that a Christian never has extraordinary spiritual experiences for the entirety of their Christian lives? Examples, seeing angels, hearing God's audible voice, etc.
So, first and foremost, it is a statistical fact that a lot of Christians go all their lives without any such encounter. So, the possibility is one thing. If it ought to be so, is another thing. And then there is also the technicality and explaining and trying to distinguish what indeed is a supernatural encounter. If the question was maybe a spectacular encounter, that would be a different thing. But a supernatural encounter will be even things like inspiration. And I don't mean inspiration for writing of the scriptures, but even in aspects that don't seem like extraordinary to you but are extraordinary. Let me give you an example. When the Bible says that when you stand before magistrates and judges, do not premeditate what you shall say, for in the same hour that the Spirit of God will give you words. So when such a person maybe opens his mouth to evangelize, and God by Kairos or one way or another just directs him in his utterances, it may not seem spiritual. He might not feel anything oozing through his body. So just the fact that someone doesn't have spectacular encounters doesn't mean he's not having spiritual encounters, if that differentiation makes sense. I'll give you another example. The example of Joseph. Everything that happened in his life was ordained. I'm talking about, the major details of finding himself in Potiphar's house and then in prison, and then everything was according to God's predetermined counsel for his life. But it's not as if an angel walked him and told him, "Hi, go to Potiphar's house," or "You're going to prison and it's going to be okay." It seemed ordinary, but it was supernatural. So there's that. You get what I'm saying? So by that strict technicality, I can answer the question and say, no, it's not possible. For we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. Also, there's another aspect I want to establish, that supernatural encounters, as powerful as they are not the crux of our faith. The reason I need to make this differentiation is that a lot of people, in the bid to see these things, they have a craving for it that even makes them vulnerable and susceptible to false spirits and false prophets. And so I want to address that by giving the example of Thomas, who we have nicknamed the Doubting Thomas. When he heard of the resurrection of Jesus, he said, until he puts his finger into his side, that he's not going to believe. It reminds me of a lot of atheists, who say they want evidence that they're never going to find. Someone gave a brilliant illustration, and maybe when we're talking about apologetics, we can talk about this. But just imagine that you were a character in the game of Monopoly, and you are looking for the maker of Monopoly in the game, in Monopoly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, how are you going to see that? The maker of Monopoly has to be outside of it. Do you understand? So, how are you going to look for God? On the earth, you're going to find evidence that there is an intelligent designer. Are you going to find the designer himself? No. He has to be outside of space and time to be able to impact it. But that's neither here nor there. So, long story short, what I want to emphasize from the story of Thomas is that when Jesus appeared and said, "Touch me, Thomas," John chapter 20 from verse 26 to 29. "Touch me so that you stop doubting. Reach your finger here. Look into my sides," and all of that. And do not be unbelieving, but believing. Then Thomas, when he touched Jesus, said, my Lord and my God. And Jesus made a very riveting statement. He said, Thomas, you have seen me. Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen yet have believed. I mean, think about it. That goes against our logic. We think we are blessed when we see. But it says, blessed are those who have not seen yet believed. And I think that's very powerful. What if we've reprogrammed our mind to that reality? Do you understand what I'm saying? And the final authority of the scriptures are enough. When we have supernatural encounters, we celebrate it. We expect it because the Bible says to covet spiritual gifts. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I do not think that we should think that we are lacking anything fundamental if we are doing everything right as believers in our devotion and we don't have that. You get what I'm saying? Because and then another text comes to mind. 1 Peter chapter 1 from verse 7. It says that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested with fire, may be found in praise and honor and glory at the revelation of Jesus, whom having not seen ye love, and though now you see him not yet believing, you rejoice with inexpressible and full joy. So my joy can be full even if I have not seen. You get what I'm saying? And there's a reason why one of the most repeated phrases in the Bible, one of the most quoted Old Testament texts in the New Testament is the statement, for the just shall by faith live. We live by faith. That's the crux of our faith, not experience. You get what I'm saying? That being said, the body language of the Bible is unequivocally that we should expect it. We should expect it. And sometimes when people ask questions like, is it possible for a believer not to have those supernatural encounters? It is because maybe they've not had it and they're already beginning to accept that they may never have it. And I think that's dangerous. I mean, just think about it. Look at the body language of the Bible. Imagine writing to a church, whoever the writer of Hebrews is. He's saying, Hebrews 13, 1 and 2, let brotherly love continue. And do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some have unwittingly entertained angels. You are talking to a church. Do you understand what I'm saying? You won't mention that except you believe that there's a possibility that it happens to them. And you're not even trying to be deep. You just drop it there. You get that? And there's another story that flies over people's head. Peter is in prison. An angel comes, opens the door. So Peter gets back home. He knocks at the door and people are praying. And someone comes, opens the door and says, it's Peter. And goes back to tell everybody that it's Peter. And then someone says, no, it can't be Peter. Maybe it's his angel. It's right there, Acts chapter 12, verse 15. But they said to her, you are besides yourself. Yet she kept insisting that it was so. So they said, it is his angel. Where did they get that idea? Except for the fact that there had been encounters like that. You get what I'm saying? Imagine you thinking it is more plausible that it's Peter's angel than it is actually Peter. It must be commonplace. And so I'm going to end with this. Are they not ministering spirits sent forth to minister for those who are to inherit salvation? Hebrews chapter 1 verse 14. And so just embrace it. Supernatural encounters, hearing the voice of God, hearing, that needs to be explained. Do you understand? But at the end of the day, divine leading is for everybody. Everybody. You can never persuade me out of it. And if you're doing things right in your devotion, you would, I'm used to it now. Do you understand? This is just one of the things that you say to me and you sound like a broken record, and I mean that in the most respectful ways. I saw a vision, I saw you. Do you understand? I'm like, you get what I'm saying? I'm grateful for it, but it's so common, it's so normal, and there've been so many great testimonies from it. So I guess that answers the question. Expect it fervently and unapologetically. Do you understand? And again, when the Bible says these signs follow you, I believe that if you're not seeing these things, chances are that maybe you're in a company of people who don't think it's a big deal. Or from experience, even if you're a churchgoer, there is too much carnality in your mind, in your spirit, to attune you to be sensitive to those things. A lot of people have that problem. You go to church, but the songs you listen to are wrong. The movies you watch are wrong. The realm of the spirit requires attention. You can be asleep and attentive. Did you catch that? Yes, you can be asleep and attentive. And so when you attune your spirit with active devotion, it's impossible. It's impossible. It will just happen normal. Some of the freakiest things have happened to me, and it looked like the most normal thing in the world until it was over. You get what I'm saying? It was, so that's that. Anyways, thank you for tuning in today. This is 100 Days of Discipleship, and this is day 48. I'm sure you've been blessed. Please like this video. Leave an honest comment, and remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right. Let me use this opportunity to let you know that we're 2 days away from the movie premiere for What About Us? So if you're in Nigeria, that's why I checked the date. So if you're in Nigeria, please find a cinema close to you. You might just see me there. God bless you and thank you.